world full of Uniteds.
It is a magic moment from Heung-min Son!
Cities.
Through to Lucas Moura!
And Rovers.
Harry Kane! Oh, what a goal!
There is only one Hotspur.
It's glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur!
Hello and welcome back to another One Hotspur podcast. I'm Tobey from _Spurs Center, and today I'm joined by Bodhi from Hotspur.opinions. His old account got taken down, so if you could follow this new one, he'd greatly appreciate that. And I'm also joined by Max from the Hotspur News. So we're recording straight after the 4-0 win against Sheffield United. How are you guys feeling immediately after that match?
Obviously, it's a good vibe. It's great to finally be winning again. I mean, I think the City game was a big blow. So it's really good to get back on the score sheet and to get a clean sheet as well at that. Yeah, it was definitely a very satisfying one, but it was expected. Yeah. It was a 20th place Sheffield. They weren't very good. But
yeah.
I don't think that does. For me personally, I don't think that takes away from the fact that Spurs had done a lot of good stuff. I just feel like the game wouldn't have went the same way if it was a tougher opposition. But you can only beat who's in front of you. So they've done their job, and overall it was a satisfactory performance.
Yeah, I think something interesting. Just Spurs had 67% ball possession, which I mean. Fans have been crying out since Mourinho's been appointed about how we got to go back to the Tottenham way and keep the ball and play with the ball. And I think today was, I mean, admittedly, like we were saying, it is against 20th place Sheffield United, who have already been relegated. But it was nice to see us just dominate the ball and press high up the field. And overall, I think it was just a really nice game to watch. But Max, what did you think?
Yeah, like Bodhi said, like it's against a really poor side, so like I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but I thought the way we played, especially like in terms of like possession, like it's reminiscent to how we played under Poch going forward against these smaller sides, like the 4-0s against like Bournemouth, Watford at the old White Hart Lane, like it's reminiscent to these other games. I say second half especially, like we looked so much better going forward because in the first half we were good, but the final pass was poor, if you know what I mean. Which is why we didn't score as many goals. But second half was a lot better in terms of our decision making, and goal hat trick and seeing BALE scoring a Spurs shirt, like to be honest, that feeling will never get old ever. So yeah, it's a good win to keep contention. We just got to hope that teams around us keep slipping up whilst we have to. But at the same time, we've just got to focus on ourselves and just. Keep winning these games.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we just have to. I think ultimately all we can do is play our game and win the games that we have left. And I honestly believe if we win the remainder of our games, we could find ourselves in the Champions League next season. But we'll just have to wait and see if that ends up happening. Or, but like you were saying, like all we can do is focus on ourselves and make sure that we win the rest of our games. But a few people I wanted to talk about today's game. We'll start with Serge Aurier. We've already said this a couple times, but against poor opposition. But I thought he played really well. I mean, 2 assists, obviously, a wonderful through ball to BALE for the first goal, and then a good pass to BALE for his second assist. And overall, I think he played really well defensively. I thought he was on top of it, especially after he's had a few iffy moments in his past few games. But Max, we can start with you on this one. What did you think about Serge Aurier's performance today?
Aurier is too overhated, man. He's like literally like I swear this guy gets so much hate, but this has been his best season in a Spurs shirt. Like to be honest, like people could talk about, oh yeah, Tobey was excellent. Oh, Lloris was so good today. Oh, Reguilon was fantastic. But to be honest, Aurier is like a player that goes unnoticed quite often when he has a good game. So for example, the 6-1 against United, he was excellent in that one.
Yeah, he
2-0
was.
against Arsenal today, he was excellent. And to be honest, like on Aurier's good day, like he is an excellent right back. Oh, I mean, 2 assists today. Like his first assist was simply brilliant.
Beautiful.
I mean, second assist he did well to shift in between the defenders and give it to BALE for his third goal. But but as I said, like Aurier gets way too much hate, and today I'd say was his second best game, just behind the United game, the 6-1. But yeah, but in terms of Aurier's season, this has been his best one in the Spurs shirt, and he's been one of our like more underrated players this season, in my opinion. Like I know he still has those mistakes in him, but this season
Mm-hmm.
he's improved defensively, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You can see he makes these like stupid errors, like these like stupid reckless errors, like less frequently, which is
Mm-hmm.
good to see. Like he's improving defensively, which is great to see. But yeah,
Yeah.
to be honest, like I still don't think he's good enough to take us to the next level, but he could be a good backup right back for us going
Yeah.
forward, especially.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I do think we need to strengthen that right back position over the summer, and I could see him leaving given that he only has 1 year left on his contract, and he doesn't seem like he wants to sign. But it would be nice if he does go this summer to just finish off the season with good memories with him, and maybe even helping us get to Champions League, like I was saying earlier. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. But Bodhi, anything you want to add on Serge Aurier's performance?
No, yeah, he was he done very well, to be fair to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not really much to say because Max basically took all the words out of my mouth. But no, I must admit that first pass to BALE was incredible, and then the one to give him his hat trick as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was very good on the ball today. And he was always tracking back. You know, you never caught him out of position. I think personally he was the best our best defensive player on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Midfield.
Yeah, I'd have to say I agree with that.
Out of the midfield and the defense, I'd say Aurier was our best player. He's definitely top. I'd honestly put him the second best on the pitch after BALE. Them two just incredible.
Yeah, they were
very
different.
good.
They were just different stuff today. But talking about BALE, speaking of, actually, I think we had a comment on BALE from Spurs Goods. What a performance from BALE. And yeah, I mean, a Premier League hat trick, 4 goals in 2 games under Ryan Mason in the Premier League. He's performed really well, and I think BALE, even if he doesn't play in the big games because we're concerned about him and like his dropping back and whether or not he's going to cover well, I think it's worth having him on just if he is played against lower league opposition. And because, I mean, we typically struggle to break down sides like Sheffield, but today with BALE, it didn't seem to be much of an issue. I mean, obviously we scored 4, but I mean, just fantastic today. And he was taken off after 75 minutes. Yeah, 75 minutes. So yeah, I just thought he was fantastic today. Either one of you want to talk a little bit more about him?
Hey, go on, Bodhi. You go first.
No, it's all right. You go first.
All right. Yeah. I'm just saying. BALE, who is presumably called a flop, has only got 1 less Premier League goal than Aubameyang this season. I mean, this guy was called a flop. But to be honest, like, because the thing is, like, the story with BALE is that this guy like only needs a run of games to get into his full flow, and you saw that like around February, like when he was started playing like I'd say 5-6 games straight, scored 1 against Wolfsberger, another 1 against Wolfsberger, got 2 against Burnley, 2 against Palace, and that's when he was on his form, you know. And now Ryan Mason's here, and you notice 4 goals in 2 games under Mason. He had a very good connection with BALE when he was a player at Spurs. And yeah, to be honest, like, even though BALE was like, what is he, 31, 32, BALE?
Yeah, I think he's 31.
Yeah, something around that. And he still gets injured quite a bit. Even during those setbacks, he's still a top player. And to be honest, and I said this on our watch along a couple of hours ago. When BALE like signed it back in September on loan, I wasn't really concerned about how he played. Like, I was just happy that he was back in his Spurs shirt because, to be honest, seeing BALE back in his Spurs shirt was something that I've always wanted to see since he left us back in 2013 to Real Madrid. But yeah, to be honest, like 9 goals in the Prem, he's got a few in Europe. Even though he's been average in some games, like you can't call him a flop. Like he's actually been.
I mean, he has the same amount of goals as Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez this season.
Yeah, so there you go then. Like BALE, and to be honest, like he's only started, and BALE hasn't even started that many games either. He's only started in what, like I say,
8 games,
like 6, 7, 8 games this season.
Yeah, 8 Premier League games.
And Mahrez and Sterling and Feet should have have featured in nearly all of them. So it kind
Mhm.
of shows that Bale has still got it. He has still got it.
Yeah.
And all he needs is a run of games. But yeah, fantastic today. Like he took his 3 goals really well, and you saw that, and you've seen that with quite a few of his goals in all competitions. Like every time they're always good finishes. So yeah,
Yeah.
as I said at the start, seeing Bale score for us, it'll just never get old whatsoever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Just love seeing him. Just it's just fantastic. I mean, Bale was my favorite player for a long, long time, and seeing back at Spurs, it just makes me very happy. Bodhi, you want to add anything on Bale?
Yeah, sure. I think he definitely had a lot. It takes me a minute to process something. But
Mm-hmm.
he played very well. Definitely man of the match for me personally.
Yeah.
But you'd have to give him it automatically just for the hat trick.
Yeah.
And every single goal he had was extremely well taken. That second goal though had me melting. Honestly, just the way, just when he was 1-on-1, I just thought this. I started celebrating before he scored the goal because I knew it was going to go in. Top right corner, couldn't be more perfect. It's like you don't need to show off. Like you know you're gonna score. You don't need to flex on Ramsdale. Um, yeah, the third one was a beauty as well. Through the legs.
Yeah.
Aurier set up to him was great.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a wrong foot think the game at all. Always was always giving another option, especially towards
Yeah.
Aurier when Aurier was making overlapping runs. He
Mm-hmm.
done a great job there.
Yeah.
No, he didn't have a wrong foot in the game, and definitely his best performance for us this season.
Yeah. I have to say I agree with that. Something else I want to mention about Bale though is Bale is known for being a very good free kick taker. Yet for some reason unknown to anyone, Harry Kane still takes free kicks for our club. And I love Harry Kane. I mean, he's probably my favorite player right now. I mean, just absolutely incredible. He can score in any position. He's a playmaker, a goal scorer, a defender, even. Yet for some reason, every free kick he takes goes straight into the wall or goes 60 yards. Yeah, just blazingly high over the goal. I just don't understand why Harry Kane is still taking free kicks. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. But someone else who I thought played really well today was Højbjerg. I mean, I thought he won the ball back very well many times.
No, yeah,
But
definitely he played very well. He was always it was a good thing that he played well because the Celso was lacking when he wasn't tracking back that much, so it was really good to see Højbjerg be able to cover for him, and he done a fantastic job. The whole team done a great job overall. They handled everything extremely well. There was a few chances where you could have thought, oof, maybe they could have done better, but for the most part, the defense handled everything very well.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Although sort of disagree. I think Los also played all right. I don't think he was great by any means, and I think Dombele should have started, but I think he was all right. And then last couple players I want to talk about it. Dele Alli. I thought he was meh, but I think just he needs to get a few just a run in the team. Not necessarily starting. I think he should be dropped to the bench, but give him some opportunities off the bench and let him work his way back up to what we know he can be, because he's not going to just come in magically after a couple months on the sidelines and be prime Dele again. So I just think we need to give him some more opportunities and let him really build back up to that. But Max, we can give it to you on this one. What do you think about Dele and if he can get back to his best?
I can't lie, first 15 minutes, he was so poor, poor. First 15, 20 minutes, he lost the ball a few times, had a few misplaced passes. But then he grew into the game. Once again, it's 20 plays Sheffield. I know people, it's 20 plays Sheffield, but I know he had a lot of time on the ball. But to be honest, I thought his decision making was poor, especially in the final third. But I can't say he was bad. I mean, he was all right. He wasn't fantastic. He wasn't terrible. He was just in the middle. In terms of getting back to his best, I think all it takes is a run of games because that was the same story with Gareth Bale. Because you notice when Gareth Bale gets a few starts in a row, all of a sudden he's getting 3-4 goals in 2-3 games. It kind of shows, isn't it? So I'd say, like you said, very similar to Bergwijn as well. Give Deddy a few starts, same with Bergwijn as well, and just see how they do, see if they're consistent with their game. But yeah, overall tonight, Deddy was okay. Wasn't fantastic. Had a few like poor moments, especially in the first minutes of the game and the last minutes of the game. But 90 minutes, and hopefully he can get a few starts. But yeah, overall he was all right. Not too bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. Bodhi, do you have anything to add on Dolly?
Yeah, I completely agree with Max. First 20 minutes, he was extremely sloppy. I didn't expect much from him, to be honest. It's like new trim, same Delhi. But yeah, he did. He grew into the game. He made some good passes. A few really good nutmegs, but unfortunately, they don't count as goals. Otherwise, he'd be one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But he played very well. I think in the first 15 and the last 15 that he played, he was pretty poor. But for the rest of it, for the most part, he didn't contribute anything to the goals or the assists. But he added an extra option which drew the players towards him and opened space for other players. So it's just his presence on the field, his positional play was very good. He didn't really like on the ball, he was some sloppy moments, but off the ball, you can ask for more from him, and it was satisfactory. I wouldn't start him for future games, but I definitely have him as a substitute.
Yeah, I agree with that. Last player that I wanted to talk about was Steven Bergwijn. Finally, another goal contribution from him, an assist for Sonny, and I really hope that just helps his confidence and helps him get back to what we know he can be. Because I said it before, I'm a huge fan of him, and I think he can be a really good player. I think working with Mourinho, I'm not necessarily blaming Mourinho for this. I don't think Mourinho's style of play and Bergwijn's style synced up very well. I think Bergwijn does better when he's in a team that likes to keep possession and create opportunity after opportunity. So I think playing under a manager like Ryan Mason could do a lot for him compared to playing under Mourinho, which I think didn't do him a lot of favors. But what do you guys think of him today? I thought he was pretty good when he came on for that last 15 minutes. Bodhi, you can start with you on this one.
Yeah, I'm a massive Bergwijn fan. Me and Tobey mainly really like him, but he didn't. I really wanted him to score. Obviously, he didn't score, but for the fact that he managed to get an assist and played as well as he did for the final 15, he didn't even get enough time to settle into the game, but yet he could come off with such a big impact. I think he'd done really, really well. I'm really glad to see that he got some minutes under his belt, and he got the assist. Hopefully that boosts his confidence. I don't know if it will, but Mason needs to give him some more games, honestly.
Just a comparison though for everyone who's talking about what a poor season Bergwijn's having. He has the same amount of assists as Ziyech, Lingard, Anthony Martial, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Denis Ceballos, Gabriel Jesus, and Kai Havertz, and Mohamed Salah. So even though he's not doing fantastic, and yes, that's still not great numbers, like 3 assists isn't fantastic, but I mean, those are some pretty quality players as well who, in terms of assists at least, haven't been giving the most impressive performances. So I still think there's plenty of time for Bergwijn to settle into his career at Spurs, and I think next season could be a really big year for him. And he just has to continue to build momentum as the rest of the season goes on. But is there anything else specific that you want to talk about the Sheffield game? Either one of you?
I think we're good.
Yeah, because hey, can I just give my thoughts on Bergwijn real quick? Because
go for it.
So going back to what you said about the whole manager situation, I actually agree with that for you because the thing is, I can notice the error of V's, but at the same time, like you notice that when Bergwijn was at PSV, and under like a different manager, he was scoring goals, he was getting assists, and in terms of today, I thought Bergwijn was good when he came on, and same with Delhi. and BALE. And same with Deddy and BALE. Like these three players just need a run of starts so they can really like initiate their form and dominance in terms of their form, etc. Because the thing is, like when Bergwijn arrived, he was starting every game, and you saw how good he was when he arrived here before the lockdown started. Obviously,
Yeah.
scored against City, scored against Wolves, got an assist against I don't know, it was
Newcastle, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, against Newcastle as well. So yeah, like last season, like when he featured, he was good, and
he had that really good goal against United as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, United as well. Forgot about that one. Yeah, and when he was playing at the start of the season, and he was playing like every single game basically during the period when we were top of the league, and he was really good. Like he was like, I know his end product was shocking, and we all know that as Spurs fans, but at the same time, his work rate is unnoticed. And now we're under Ryan Mason. Like, I feel like he could like get more goals and assists or goal contributions, we say, because in my opinion, I think that one goal is the only thing that's preventing Bergwijn's confidence from growing. If you know what I mean? Like I said this on the watch along. I'm telling you now, once he gets that goal, he's going to be an important player for us. Because
I really agree with that.
Yeah, because like Bodhi and yourself, like I'm a Bergwijn fan as well, and I've been a fan of him since he's arrived here. And the main reason I've been a fan of him is because of his work rate and the passion. So listen, now he's under a different manager. Hopefully, he gets more starts next season. Same with Dele Alli and BALE. And hopefully we see him thrive in a Spurs show because he deserves a chance, 100%.
I agree. Last thing I'll say on Bergwijn, I was just looking into it, and not last season. The first half of last season, when he was at PSV in the Eredivisie, he averaged a shot every 38 minutes. 38 minutes, and this season with Spurs, he averages a shot every 98 minutes. So that just shows Mourinho's system is just for forwards to be clinical and score off their limited opportunities. But Bergwijn as a player, he isn't super clinical. I think he just does better when he's given just a ton of chances. So I think he's more suited to a manager like Ryan Mason, like maybe Ralph Rangnick. So yeah, just overall, I think we could do with having a more possession-based manager or just a manager who likes to create more opportunities for the forwards. But yeah, anyone else you guys want to talk about, or anything else in general about that game? Oh, sorry. One thing I wanted to talk about. That was a clear red card for Flick. He pretty obviously, to me at least, stepped on Lo Celso's head. It seemed like it was on purpose too. It didn't seem like an accident at all. I mean, it looked like he looked at Lo Celso's head and stamped his foot down. How VAR haven't called that a red card, I'll never know. I think VAR has a lot that needs to be fixed. I think refs should have to explain their decisions. I think they do something similar in rugby, if I'm not mistaken, where the refs have to explain their decisions, or at least they have a mic on so you can hear what they're thinking. But yeah, just overall, I think there's way too many mistakes that are being made. And I don't know who it was, but in the West Ham game, I think it was their right back who was clearing the ball, and his follow through just caught a Liverpool player, or I think they caught a Chelsea player, and that was given as a red card. Yet a clear stamp on a head today isn't given. So it needs better consistency and just better decisions overall. But I think that just about wraps up the Sheffield United game. So we did make a YouTube video about managers if you want to watch that. It's on our YouTube channel, but I wanted to talk a little bit about that as well. So who do you YouTube? We can start with Bodhi on this one. Who would be your preferred manager to take Spurs in the next season?
Well, that really all depends on the games. If Ryan Mason can win all his games, then I don't see why not he can take over. I mean, it's like everything Daniel Levy wanted in a manager is literally Pochettino, which makes no sense because he sacked him. Yeah. But Ryan Mason's the closest you're gonna get. When there was strong rumors in Ten Hag, I really wanted him, so I'm gutted that we didn't get him. And to be honest, with looking at all the options that we have, even if we don't do well in our last few games, everyone else is just shite. So I'd rather just keep Mason, to be honest.
I think, for me at least, I think just Mason needs a few years of experience at the top level. I like him a lot, but I think overall he needs to get some experience and show that he can manage before he takes on a big club like Tottenham. Because I mean, at this point he's doing very well, but he's also playing one game a week, and so far he's beaten Southampton, who's in the bottom 5, and Sheffield in the bottom 5. So yeah, I'm not convinced on him yet. I think maybe if he goes out to a different Premier League club for a few seasons and does well with them, then we can consider him in the future. I think that's something that we're doing with Scott Parker as well, and seeing if he can get a few successful seasons in with a few different teams, and considering him for the future as well. But I think overall, Mason's not quite ready for the full-time Spurs job. So yeah, he wouldn't be my first choice. But Max, who are you thinking?
I'll tell you what, yeah, after the whole Ten Hag situation, I literally have no clue of what manager. I literally have no clue of what manager who would come. Because I'll tell you what, the Ten Hag situation has really pissed me off. Do you know why? It's because the main reason is the one thing that's prevented us from becoming one of Europe's like top 6 clubs. Sorry, it's the one thing that's prevented us from becoming
top. Yeah, elite.
So the one thing that's prevented us from us becoming one of like Europe's like
elite teams.
It's like big clubs. It's silverware, and our motto is the game is about glory and to dare is to do. And to be honest, the one thing, if you want to win silverware, you've got to have experience. And Ten Hag is an experienced manager with Ajax. I mean, Ten Hag has won trophies. Yes, I know it's the era of the V's, and it may not be like as much of a competitive league as the Premier League. But even
he took a team full of youngsters to a semi-final.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go then. And I just don't understand why Levy's just not signing him because literally, like, out of all the options we had, Ten Hag was absolutely perfect because Ten Hag was good with the youngsters at Ajax, which could be suitable for our youth development in the future with youngsters such as like Divine and Scarlett. The rest. I know Bodhi's a massive fan of our youth development, so maybe that's one reason why. Ten Hag would be very suitable.
Good fit.
Yeah, but as I said, that Ten Hag, yes, like Bodhi said, Ten Hag took a team of youngsters to a Champions League semi-final, and Daniel Levy's turning him down. Like, I just can't believe that. Literally, like, I mean, Ajax beat Juventus and Real Madrid with a team full of youngsters under Eric Ten Hag. I mean, out of all of our options, like, it really annoyed me. But yeah, in terms of Mason, I agree with Tobey. Like, I just think the job's too big for him. Yeah, it would be nice if we could win our last 4 games, and of course it's always nice to see our free-flowing attacking football now. Now that Mourinho's gone, but at the same time, like, I just think the job's too big for him. Like, even if we do win our last 4 games, I'm still not convinced that he could take us to the next level like Pochettino did. Yeah, I mean, we'll find out though. I guess we'll find out. But in terms of manager choice, I have no idea who's out there because now Ten Hag has signed a new contract. So we'll see what happens. But right now, in terms of the manager choice, I'm not really happy with it.
I think for me, my top choice at the moment, or my first choice, would be Ralf Rangnick. He's currently a free agent. He worked with Leipzig, and he's also known for being a director of football, so he can manage or just run that side of things. But overall, he's been very successful in his career. He took RB Leipzig from the 3rd division in Germany all the way up to the top, and he got them to 3rd place. And then after that, he became the director of football, I think, and let Nagelsmann take over as coach. And then he kind of just stepped to the side, and he left them for this season. So I think bringing in someone like him could be really beneficial, even if it's just for a couple of seasons. Like, it could turn out really well if we get him as a director of football and bring in someone like Ten Hag in the future. I mean, it's looking unlikely. But even if it was just for like a season or two, and bringing in a different manager after that, who we like more, and then having him run the football side of things, because he's made some really, really good signings for his previous clubs. I mean, he signed Timo Werner for 15 million. He signed Holland for 15 million. So just, really, really impressive. And I think we could benefit a lot from having someone like that at the club. Someone who could identify talents a little bit better than Steve Hitchen. So yeah, that's what I'd say overall. But I think the only thing we got left is to preview our game against Leeds United. Saturday, it's the early kickoff. Leeds versus Tottenham. What are we thinking? It's an away game as well.
It'll be tough. The main reason being is that Leeds' record against the Big Six at home has been pretty good this season. I mean, obviously they drew to Arsenal, they drew to City, drew to United, and they've rarely conceded any goals recently. I think Leeds are in quite good form at the moment. I know they lost to Brighton, but before then they were doing all right. They beat City at the Etihad, obviously.
They drew with Liverpool and drew with United, and then they drew with Chelsea a couple of game weeks before that.
Yes, they went undefeated against City, United, and Liverpool. So there you go. So Leeds are in good form. I know they did just lose to Brighton, but to be honest, every team has a one-off game. So it'll be a tough game, definitely, because mainly due to the fact that Leeds is the main reason being is because of Leeds' home form this season. It's been quite good, but our away form hasn't been great. It's been all right. I say because to be honest, looking at Leeds' squad this season, they've been quite shaky defensively. So to be honest, we need Kane firing again, because today Kane played like Yaya Sanogo. He was so poor today. Harry Kane.
Yeah, he was not great.
I'd say play that same front three. I'd say start Deddy again, because we need Deddy to get a run of starts to get back to his best. I love Lucas Moura, but at the same time, prime Deddy was just different gravy, so we need him back to his best. Hopefully we get the win. We need it just to remain in contention, because I'm pretty certain Chelsea's lineup is I'm pretty certain Chelsea's running is quite difficult. They've got to face Arsenal and Leicester. So
and then on the other side of that, Leicester have to play United, Chelsea, and us before the end of the season.
And us. So there you go. And we've got Wolves and Villa, Leeds and Leicester. So 4 very winnable games, and we have to take advantage of that, which we never do.
Yeah.
Because the most frustrating thing is that every time we have the advantage of getting back to, for example, 4th place or 3rd place, we never take that opportunity. We never do it. So hopefully we win these.
Although on the bright side, this week Everton lost and Leicester drew, so we did get just a little bit. We got some ground between us and Everton, and then we closed the gap by 2 points to Leicester. So now we're only 7 points behind them. Which
the main focus is Chelsea, though. I'm pretty certain Leicester will get. I'm pretty certain Leicester will finish in the top 4 regardless. It's just all about whether Chelsea are going to slip up, which at this rate I don't think they will. Chelsea are flying. They're in the Champions League semi-final. They drew the first leg. They have the potential of getting to the final, maybe winning it. If they play their cards right against whoever they're facing in the final. But but to be honest, as I said at the start of the podcast, all we can do is focus on ourselves, win the games, and just hope that teams around us slip up. But in terms of Saturday, it won't be an easy game. But at the same time, we just got to play our cards right, play the way we did in the second half today, and we should win, hopefully.
Going off what you were saying, though, I think we have a better chance of catching Leicester than we do of Chelsea, even though Leicester are 2 points further ahead than Chelsea are. But Leicester, they just drew to Southampton, and the week before that, they played Crystal Palace, and they got an 80th minute winner, and they won 2-1 after Crystal Palace had actually pulled in front. And then the week 2 weeks before that, they lost to West Ham. They lost to Man City. So they've been dropping some points, and they've been looking not in the greatest of places. And Man United have been doing pretty well when they have to play them. And I'm assuming, or fingers crossed, Man United win. And then they play Chelsea, which any result in that game is going to be good for us. And then they play us on the last day of the season, and I think that's it. That's a game that could ultimately decide whether or not we get Champions League. And it's going to be tough. And I mean, if we don't win that game, we don't deserve to make it to the Champions League. So it's going to be all on us. I think if we win, like I said earlier in the pod, I think if we win the remaining games we have, we can make Champions League. But Bodhi, what are you thinking?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you think we can still make it to Champions League?
No.
Abrupt.
But even if we do, I don't think we'll deserve it, to be honest. We've had a pretty appalling season. You know, a lot of ups and downs. If we get it, I'll be happy. But I don't really think we deserve it. I'd be happy. Honestly, I'd take another year of Europa League.
I think
yeah,
ultimately, I mean, obviously I'd much rather have Champions League, but having another season in the Europa League would probably be really good for the development of Dane Scarlett. Or even if we got into Champions League, and maybe if we got an easier group, or even if the last couple games we just needed a couple points from, we could give games to someone like Scarlett. And not just Scarlett, but a lot of our academy players who are coming through: Elliot Thorpe, Dylan Markanday, Marcel Lafreniere, Alfie Devine, or Devine. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that one. But yeah, I just think overall, either way, I think we're going to have a lot of youth coming through that could use some developing in senior games, and so it won't be all doom and gloom if we're in the Europa League. Although it would be preferable if we didn't have to do that. But yeah, that's all I got from that side of things. But anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, I'm good.
I think that's it.
Well, thank you for listening. We really appreciate you. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the One Hotspur on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We just did a little bit of a rebranding. Bodhi is actually going to be taking charge of that now. It's at one as in the number, and then Hotspur Pod. And yeah, that's just about all I got for you. Thank you for listening, like I said, and we'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.